What's good, brothers? We back with another bootcamp video. We're getting towards the end with it. Yeah, man, we're getting towards the end. Today's video about to be about good quality trades with high conviction. That's what this video is about. Ain't gonna be too much on the charts, but my good quality trade will be different than your good quality trade. The only thing that should be in line is having multiple convictions, multiple reasons for why the trade is going to work out. So when it comes to having a good quality trade, right? You gotta understand this whole shit is about probabilities and having the highest probability to win your trade. And what that equates to is having the most conviction, the most confluence as possible before you hop into a trade. I'm pretty sure Dorian went over daily bias in a video already. So a lot of your trades should be based on your daily bias, and your daily bias is gonna be the overall draw liquidity for that day, where you think liquidity is gonna go. Whether you see he did the market maker model, it's a market maker sell model, market maker buy model, whatever it is. Your trade should be in line, for one, with most of the time your trade should be in line with your daily bias. You may want to trade a retracement because it's a good setup, then that could be a high quality trade as well, but most of the time you want your trades to be in line with your daily bias. And there's nothing really for me to go too deep in on daily bias, just because there's a whole video on it. You can watch it after this. But yeah, so high quality trade. I had one of the dudes in the Discord DM me actually today, sent me his trade and asked me if it was a good quality trade. And I was just explaining to him, he asked me if it was an A+ setup. And the A+ setup to me is going to be different than an A+ setup for him. And that's exactly what I told him. My A+ setup is based on what I back tested myself for months before I started hopping into actually trading. So I found out a setup that made sense to me, that was simple enough to when I see it, a light bulb clicked off in my head. There was no room for interpretation. It was just, I see this setup work out majority of the time when it's good price action, so I'm gonna take it. And that's all it is to it. And you have a multiple number of confluences, your setup aligns with your daily bias. For my setup, I take my best setup is, or the main setup I try to take is hourly rejection off of fair value gap, 5-minute inverse off of, 5-minute inverse or 15-minute inverse, and then catch it on the shorter time frames. That's usually the setup I look for. And if I tie that to my daily bias, my win rate, I don't have the numbers for it just because I don't always take that setup. But if I was to just stick to that singular setup, my win rate would have to be around 90%. And that's partially my issue too, is being too greedy on the charts. That setup is not always going to appear, just because the 5-minute and the 15-minute are they're lower time frames, but you got to wait a little longer for those setups to form. And it's not always going to be fair value gaps on the 5-minute and the 15-minute, but there will be a lot more on the 3 or the 2 or the 1. But the one thing about those as well is inverses on those time frames, the 1, 2, and the 3, they get violated way more often than they will on the 5-minute and the 15-minute. If price action is drawing towards liquidity and is going based on your bias, it most likely is going to hold that gap. Based probability wise, it's going to hold that gap way more often than it will on the 1-minute, the 2-minute, the 3-minute. Just because there's way more fluctuation on shit on those time frames. But that doesn't take anything away. That's just based on what I've seen, based on my back testing, is why that becomes my A+ setup. And you want to stack. The main thing about having a high quality trade is wanting to stack confluences on top of each other. If you was to sit in front of whoever it is, me, one of your homies or whatever, and that's somebody that actually knows about trading, and you want to be why they ask you why you took this trade, you're gonna be oh, I took it because of this, and this. You want to be able to have a good thought out purpose for the reasoning why you took your trade. You want to have a good reason for every trade you take, multiple reasons for every trade you take. If it doesn't work out, like I said, it's all about probabilities. If you have an A+ setup, it's going to work out more often than it's going to work out more often than not, which will make you profitable. But you have to have, and you don't know, you on the charts is you versus you. You know what that setup is. It's not my setup that you're taking. It's not nobody else's setup. You know what setup makes sense to you and what setup you see that works out most of the time. So when you're not taking those setups and you're not able to be somebody asks you, oh, why do you take this trade? And you're because I thought it was going to take this liquidity out, or I thought it was going to hit sell side liquidity. That's not enough for a high quality trade. A high quality trade is stacking confluences on top of each other. You say, oh, it tapped into this 1-hour gap. My daily bias was bullish because it was in a daily gap and it rejected this daily gap. The 4-hour, whatever, 15-minute inverse, all that type of shit. You got to stack those on top of each other to be able to have a high quality trade and have a high conviction when you're getting into these trades. Because if not, then this shit is just like FanDuel. You're just hoping this shit works out without no real bias behind it. That's just trading. Liquidity is the key of all this shit, but just trading based on liquidity is stupid. Because there has to be a certain bias and a certain mindset of why price is going to chase that certain liquidity, why price is going to do this or price is going to do that. You have to have a reasoning, because at the end of the day, you're not the one that's making the moves on the chart. You're trying to flow with the moves of the chart. You're not guessing the shit. You're trying to flow with what the chart gives you. So you don't want to be just hopping in wherever and whenever because you think, oh, liquidity is going to get taken out. It has to be stacking convictions on top of each other. You should have at least 3 reasons for each trade you take. 3 reasons that align with each other of why this trade is going to work out, why you want to take this trade, why you're hopping in. Whether you're using equilibrium, the Fibonacci, whatever your setup is, you need to have at least 3 reasons of why why your trade is going to work out. 3 reasons. That's all you need. I mean, that's at least 3 reasons for why the trade is going to work out or why you hopped into the trade. And then the rest is up to probabilities. If you lose, don't change your setup just because you're taking a loss. So you have a losing streak of a couple days, bro. It's going to happen. You're going to take losses. It's all part of the system. You're building a data set of trades to show how good your trading. You're building a data set of trades to show how good your trading plan is, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. You want to be able to follow your trading plan and take high quality trades. So that data set that you're building of all the trades that you take, you're able to look back in a month and be like, oh, I took high quality trades every day, and this is where I'm at the end of the month. So you're either going to be profitable because you took good trades and you followed your trading plan, or if you're not profitable, you need to go back to back testing because obviously you don't understand price action as well as you thought you did. But if you have multiple reasons for why the trade is going to work out or why you're entering into the trade, there's no reason why you're not going to be profitable because the charts are not up for interpretation. The shit, we all look at the same charts. We all see the same shit. When I'll take trades and then I'll go on Doji Instagram or whatever the fuck, or TJR will post some shit from his live and it'll be the same exact trades because they seen the same move happen the same time I saw it. And we on Discord ourselves trying to go on live, so it's like we not watching these niggas, but that just proves to you that this shit is not up for interpretation. There's gonna be setups they take that I don't take, vice versa, and it may work out for me, it may work out for them different times, but at the end of the day, stacking those confluences on top of each other is what's gonna be the difference between a month later if you're profitable, a month later if you're gonna pay out, or if you're just bullshitting through this shit. But yeah, real not too long of a video. Just make sure you stacking those confluences on top of each other, bro. That's all you need to do. Stack confluences on top of each other. Don't just trade based off liquidity. Don't trade on draws of liquidity because you're not going to get an optimal entry for one. You're like just thinking, oh, price is going to take out this high or take out this low is not enough to be able to be a profitable trader in long term. You need to be able to stack these confluences for value gaps, rejections, whatever the fuck, order blocks, all that. You need to be able to stack all that on top of each other to be able to say, oh, I'm taking good trades. I took a good trade today. If you can't explain to anybody, explain to your homie that trades, oh, I took this trade because of this, this, and this, and this, and they all aligned with each other, then you fucking up. You gotta go back to the drawing board. And there's gonna be a lot of days too where the setup doesn't come and you just need to get off the charts. And we've said that multiple times and I don't gotta get into that no more either. But yeah, man, we went to boot camps. I ain't gonna say my fault. We ain't been consistent because it was that light-skinned nigga that ain't been consistent. Get on his ass. Tell that nigga to lock in. But yeah, man, boot camp almost done. Hop in the Discord, link below. Hop in the Discord. And that's it, man. New video tomorrow. We out.